Hey y'all, and we back with another reaction, y'all. Whoo, Lord, I done took so many naps, y'all. I am stronger than what I was. Now look, Miss Nancy, we on your side. We on your side, Miss Nancy. But look, y'all, I found something that one of the people in the chat was speaking on the Rico location. And so I want to come back here, right here in this spot, and let's get to it. So I'm gonna give y'all time to get in. I didn't know I was gonna come back, but I'm back though. I ain't going nowhere. So go tell your friend, go tell your buddy, go get your hamburger. I just had a hamburger, y'all. And I had a hamburger and some french fries. And it was delicious with some lemonade, Minute Maid. Yes, sir. And it's gonna be some questions. It's questions. Questions. I have so many questions. Because the video that we saw 15 minutes ago, or 20 minutes ago, I don't know. I don't keep up with time since I retired. I don't. But anywho, we just got off live and we seen a guy with a mask on. And he was fine and built. And I don't know why he was at Miss Nancy's home. But anywho, they detained that man. When they detained that man, that boy or whoever he was, they detained him and they questioned him and they got him. Now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna watch this video, y'all. I didn't have this video at first. Like I said, I've been sleeping half of the day. I've been tired, been trying to stay woke. I know I got work to do when I got. Whew. All right, y'all. So we're gonna answer the questions that they're gonna ask about this picture. Now, the people that I'm concerned about in with Miss Nancy life is the church people. Do the church people have any grandson or son who don't been to rehab before? Anybody visit that knows the Miss? Don't have to know the family, but know Miss Nancy. Cause you'll be surprised that a lot of older people, young guys, like talking to them, about their problems and stuff. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm saying that just came to my mind. Y'all know I'm not a spiritual goddess or whatever, but when stuff hit me, I have to come to y'all. But anywho, I was just thinking, could it have been somebody who knows she stay there and go to their granddaddy church or grandmama church because it got issues? They had to have a problem because they over her house and they don't live there and they dress good. And they Wednesday had a mask over their face. And I'm just saying. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this video and what we're going to do. Hey, baby. Hey, chat, y'all. Everybody come in chat. But look, we're going to pay attention to the video. Okay? We're going to pay attention to the video and we're going to ask the questions. Because I'm thinking about the church people, y'all. And who all attend that church. Because she's a church going lady. She ain't no cougar and she ain't no sugar mama. She goes to church and she at this church. And she waiting to look at church on TV. Like most 84-year-old might do. Okay? And I want to thank Tony for coming in to tell me about this video right here. He mentioned it in the chat. And so a lot of things that y'all mentioned, I do go back. Y'all think I ain't listening. I'm listening to the common sense one. But I go back and I try to find out what y'all talking about. And I found the video that he mentioned in the chat about Rico. Okay, here we go.
I want to put this on. This is down in Rio Rico. We're being told it's 15 miles from the Mexican border. But this is...
15 miles? From the Mexican border. 15 miles from the Mexican border. Well, how far is that from Miss Nancy's home?
This is the video, the first video that we have seen that is connected to the person who was detained and we presume is now being questioned. Anything about this video, Bob Krager, that strikes you as you look at this? Because I can't really pick out.
Okay, well, you asked the question, so let me look. 20 minutes away? So she 11 minutes from her daughter's house and 20 minutes away. This a ride. It really not that far. But it's far enough. So he said, look at the video. Is there anything about this video that you all can think of? I just see a bunch of fine men standing over here on this side right here. Look like they, no, it's close, but, oh, okay. No, Big Nick, I don't listen to, no. But look, I be trying to do my cases on my own. I don't like for nobody to tell. I like to figure it out myself. But I'm about to go back. Let me see what question y'all made me forget what question. I like to figure out stuff myself.
Being questioned. Anything about this video, Bob Krager, that strikes you as you look at this? Because I can't really.
Okay, when I'm looking at this, what strikes me about this video is nothing. I see a bunch of people in a little circle and they talking. That's what it look like. I'm seeing a bunch of people. No, I'm trying to see what strikes me about this video that he said that strikes him. I don't see nothing. I just see a bunch of people talking. That's all I see. And I noticed the guy's pants. I noticed everybody, wearing khakis. And I see a cooler right there. See, I said, I know it just seemed like they in a group. Campo, come on, please. God, my dog's getting on my nerve. He over here sneezing, y'all. Oh, Lord, have mercy, Jesus. Do y'all dogs sneeze like my dog? Okay.
Pick out, what is significant and what is not.
Yeah, with what I'm seeing on the screen, there's not much I can say about it, other than there's a good amount of resources down there. In that part of between here and Mexico, there's usually not a lot of officers,
right.
and I know that the sheriff's department has resources down there. And
oh, so wait a minute. So y'all know what's going on with the video. So what y'all trying to say is, why y'all asking us what we know significant about the video, is a group of people meeting up somewhere. Where are they from? Are they legal over here in the United States? What is it? What are you saying? Cause you saying that I see it look like a police, I don't know, a police car, look like a group of people meet up in a group and have meetings. Because they can't talk around the house because they scared it could be tapped. I don't know. I'm not about to be exaggerating about these people. But let me see what you said about these people. Let me see.
There's a good amount of resources down there. In that part of between here and Mexico, there's usually not a lot of officers,
right.
and I know that the sheriff's department has resources.
So they got a lot of resources in Rico? What that got to do with Miss Nancy? What do this has to do with Miss Nancy though? What do their what do their resources has to do with Miss Nancy? Then the big bosses right there. Then the big bosses.
Resources down there, and any other resources that are out there to help as far as feds go. But they were definitely looking for something, and with that amount of people that are down there.
Yeah, and I wonder, Josh Ritter, if you look at the picture, I don't even know if you can see it, but I will tell you that, as Bob says, there's not really a lot to see, not a lot to decipher. There's a truck on the right. There seems to be some people gathered by that.
That's what I'm saying. You're saying the same thing I'm saying. I see a bunch of people. They gather me. Oh, so what you trying to say? What time did they gather at her? They could have just meet up, cause we do that. We'll meet up with our friends to a certain spot and just, chit chat and stuff like. Well, I see a house. It look like a house back there. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, they getting around each other and talk about what we. A lot of people here is in the United States illegal, and a lot of them got families and friends that are here illegal and don't want them to leave. I don't know.
Appears to be some type of. It could be a photographer's box. It could be, who knows what it is. And then you have a couple of cars on the left-hand side, and some people that are down, either being questioned or somebody who's talking to somebody else. We just don't really know exactly what we're looking at here. But you wonder if in a situation like this, is it the goal to get this person, as Paul Moore was saying, and bring them back to Pima County? Is that the goal, to get this person into a vehicle as rapidly as possible and get them back where they can be questioned?
Absolutely, if you believe that's the person you've been looking for. If this is just a person that you feel is ancillary, a person that's
Right,
going to do nothing more than kind of further the investigation, a person that might have helpful information, but you don't...
Lamar, she's not safe, I
Perhaps
guess.
you continue to question them where you've stopped them. This was described to us as a traffic stop. Perhaps you question them there, bring them back to a local area to question them. But the idea that you're going to put that person in a vehicle, drive them, an hour north back here to Pima County Sheriff, that to me shows that this person's beyond just simply someone who's helpful to you, but you might be your suspect. I'm going to also keep you updated further to what's taking place here outside of the station.
Yeah, this could be, we don't know, when was this video made? What time y'all got this video? Is this somebody out there trying to do their own investigation? Is this a family member trying to hire a PI? We really don't know who that person is. That's what I'm saying, Blood and Ben. This could be in PI. We don't know when this video was made. It's distraction. That's what it is. See, you don't never know. Yes, but see, we ain't gonna go about what we heard. We gonna figure this thing out ourselves.
One of those SWAT vehicles returned. So whatever operation they were on earlier, when we saw all of those vehicles move out in rapid succession, they've obviously wrapped that up. That also seems to coincide with the time that we've heard about this detention and how long it would take them to make that hour drive.
This guy has 2 flashlights. He have a flashlight over his head. I don't know what that for right there. I don't know what that for. But then you got a group of people, they want us to figure out what they talking about. What is it about? All I see is a group of people. And then I don't know what time this video was. And at first, I had to go back and see, was it Miss Nancy home? I had to go back and see what's at Miss Man's at home at first, y'all. I pulled her house up again. That's what I did. And he got a flash. He out there at 12 a.m., 12:30 a.m. with a flashlight over his head. And I guess this is, I don't know what this is. They want us to figure.
From that location here to Pima County Sheriff.
Yeah, and while I've got you both here, I want to bring in, Bob, the same for you. We got some breaking news coming in. This is from KSAZ, our Fox affiliate in the Phoenix area. It says, quoting here, the Pima County Sheriff's Department, assisted by the FBI's Evidence Response Team, is conducting a court-authorized search of a location in Rio Rico, Arizona, related to the Nancy Guthrie investigation. This operation is expected to last several hours. No further details.
Now, that operation that they're talking about, it's going to take me back to the church people. What do the church know about this? What do the people in the church know about this? Have they been targeted before? What's going on here?
At this time, and then it ends by saying, please see the media staging area below. Fox News has a camera on the way to Rio Rico, so we hope to get some video sometime this evening about what's going on there. What's your best guess at what we're looking at here, Paul Morrow? It doesn't appear to be the vehicle. It is a court-authorized search of a location.
So that could very well explain why we had all of the tactical vehicles that were rolling out of here a couple of hours ago if they had identified that location. It also potentially cuts against the idea that he was trying to flee to Mexico. It sounds like if you have a house down there and the perpetrator, or I should say the suspect, comes back to that house, well then that's why he was down there.
I don't understand what y'all saying. What are y'all trying to say to me? Y'all ain't making sense. Y'all don't know what's going on.
That's why he was down there, and that might be where he was going. I don't know which one.
Okay, they trying to say that he went to Rio Rico? That's where he from? Why did they go to Nancy's house? Do any of these people attend her mother's church? I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying. Because this man right here ain't no poor man. This man right here got everything in this man has on is expensive. What's going on, y'all?
First, they got the ID of him and where he lives, so they got the car first, and off of the car, they got the house.
How did they find out where he lives? How did they find out where that man lives? So this is what they do with videos, y'all. Y'all gotta really, this is what they do with videos. They show you partial of a video. They don't show you the whole thing. They want you to figure out things on your own. I don't see this man with no car or nothing, but evidently they found his car here. And if this dude right here, this is what he's trying to say. He may be in this picture right here. Well, we know he belongs to somebody because he's a mighty healthy man eating steaks and exercise. And everybody over here a little healthier than me. So y'all trying to say he over here? Lord have mercy.
One thing I can tell you is, as I said earlier, you're not going to have a trouble of any sort getting the search warrants here. And the fact that they're bringing him back here while they're doing all of this down there at his house, presumably, I don't know it's his house, but you would assume that. Again, that tells me that this thing is really...
So y'all think he was from right here? So y'all trying to say that... The hell is that in his mouth? A light? What, he got a flashlight in his mouth? Oh, Lord, help me. Oh, Jesus, what do we got?
to accelerate. And the other thing I'd be interested in, Trace, is this. Where up here are they bringing them? Because there was some mention of the Pima County Sheriff's Jail. The Corrections Department up here in Pima County is also under the Sheriff's Department. So if they're bringing them to the jail, what do you do at a jail? Well, that's where you process. That's where you can not only interview somebody.
This man right here is right here for a reason. At 12:30 a.m. in the morning. Why is he there? Cause the group? What that has to do with on the group that Miss Nancy really in is the church. So is he related to the church? The people in the church? Is somebody in the church? I don't think they want to hurt her. I don't think they meant to hurt her. We are saying that she's gone. Y'all saying she gone. I ain't saying she ain't went nowhere. I ain't saying nothing. All I know, it could be a nurse or somebody taking care of her. I don't know. I can't say she deceased. I can't. How I'm gonna tell you that? But I'm gonna go with Savannah that she's alive. I bet she had a heart attack. And they get somebody have her medication. But who are these people right here? I think what happened was it wasn't intended to be this. But it ended up being that when she woke up. Allegedly.
But that's where you do the prints, where you do the photographing, where you do all the stuff that happens subsequent to an arrest. You can interview there as well. But this is not a soft landing for this guy if that's the case. If you're bringing him right there and you were trying to build a rapport, you might not bring him there. You might bring him someplace where he's a little more comfortable. You know, you try to, you want something to eat, you want to get him talking to you, you want to get into his head a little bit. You're bringing him to a prison to do the interview. That tells me this thing's pretty far along the line, if in fact that reporting is accurate.
Trace, I don't mean to interrupt.
But you know what? She asked for our help, and soon she asked for our help. Then they found his truck out here. So is she asking for a group of people help? Because we don't know nothing. And is she asking for the church help? Is she asking for everybody help out there? And what is he got? What is he pressing on right there? Is he a PI? What is he? Is he a informer? Who is he? What time was this? What day was this? We got to think that, y'all. Look, we ain't worried about no distraction or nothing. We don't want to say that word no more. We don't want to. They ain't got nobody distract. They're distracting themselves. It's not making sense. What is that in his hand, in his left hand? What is that he taking a picture of? Is that a camera? This is a decent young man. That mother sucker strong. To what y'all say?
But if I could jump in here too to add to what Paul was saying, something else to note in this this new release that we have, they talk about it being a court authorized search, and that's operative there. An important thing that they're letting us know is what that means is they have evidence. They have evidence somehow. They've either gathered it before or after this apprehension, this detention.
But if they have evidence, then where did all the ransom note come from? Where do you people from California? Where the man from California come from? Why is he at her house? Why is he at her house? All the people who would know everything about her is somebody in her family. And that's good not to share. I know that y'all husband, y'all love y'all husband. I ain't gonna say that. But anywho, somebody out there with that boy. You see looking at him. But if y'all have evidence, why do we need the Bitcoin, the cryptocurrencies? Why is the email? Why is the ransom notes? Why is all of that? If y'all got evidence, y'all have these things in place before y'all putting pieces and pieces of the puzzles out there. Once y'all know we already done solved the puzzle, but now y'all show us him, and then y'all show us where he did. So do anybody in the group know Miss Nancy? Well, you know she go to the same church my mom go to. Whew, Lord, how much of Jesus.
Just had to sign off on this warrant. So there has to have been some level of probable cause there, some level of evidence for them to get that warrant to make that search.
And that's exactly my question is, how long does it take you to get the warrant? Can you get it? I mean, we think this thing, we were building this up in the last hour because we didn't know, as maybe that this was some kind of a race, like it was a chase down to Rio Rico, when maybe it wasn't. Maybe this person was in Rio Rico all the time. Maybe this person lived or lives in Rio Rico, and it all kind of transpired. They knew this person was down there and it was just time to go, and they waited to...
This man right here, it's something about him. Don't think me. He's too relaxed. He know ain't no brother-in-law gonna pull up. He know ain't no son gonna pull up. He know ain't nobody gonna pull up at their house. But do he know he didn't have to come right here. He didn't have to come here. He didn't have to come to this route right here. He didn't have to come right here.
To bring in this
to where a camera at. Come on.
Before, Josh, that they couldn't do it until they got the court order. The authorized warrant to go in and take a look.
No, you're absolutely right. And to answer your question, how quickly can they do this? Fairly quickly. Many jurisdictions have judges who are essentially on call, and they rotate for exactly this type of purpose, that they know that
crime is not
going to wait for business hours, and so
this don't make sense.
Judges available if they have breaking evidence and they need to move on that quickly, and this is exactly what.
And just go back to what
might have evidence that they
Little Eagle said.
Lead them towards
they taking the distraction away from Trump's solution. Trump told them at the beginning, I wasn't worried about the search, I was worried about the solution. Yeah, he knew where the camera was. He came right to the camera. Come on, man. Let's go right here, y'all. Let's say it's something new every day about this project. It's something new every day about this case. Something new every day. I took a nap, woke up, and waiting on something new to come up. Lord, how much of this? Every day is something new. Tomorrow, they're going to find his girlfriend, his wife.
What's talked about a lot in these kinds of situations is the timing here, and I want to bring in Kirk Knudsen on this because I'm going to play a soundbite. This is Harvey Levin of TMZ, and he was talking about the Bitcoin wallet, right? Remember,
here we go.
One of the ransom letters, the first ransom letter that was sent to TMZ, it was also sent to a couple of the affiliates here in the Tucson area, but the ransom letter had the Bitcoin purse. For lack of a better term.
I just brought that up.
They wanted the $6 million sent to this. So at CNN Harvey Levin was on CNN, and he was asked about the Bitcoin, and he said there was some activity. He said the following.
So about 12 minutes ago, we saw activity in that account.
Activity like what?
That's what I can't talk about. There are reasons I can't, but all I can say is there is now activity in that Bitcoin account.
Okay.
You need to stop playing. You've been playing. You don't play 2 games with us now, Harvey. You don't play at us playing chess with that. What's that child name? Lord, how much with D4VD David and Celeste Rivas case. Now you gonna tell me that you gonna come on TV and tell us the little news, but not all the news? You the first one that got the note. Why you got all the information? I'm just saying.
Now, let me just ask one more question, and you'll share with me what
Right,
you learned.
Paul.
But when you say activity, is that you can see money is going into the account, or are you able to tell whether it's money going in or going out?
Well, it would only show, as I understand this, money going in. And the only thing you would see is money. And Aaron, that's all I can say.
You can see the money going in the account. It can't be no money going in the account if she asking for our help. That's the way he doing. That is exactly the way he was doing. That's exactly the way he doing. He know what he doing. He ain't see no money go in no account. Let me stop. He just make me say, Harvey, you doing too much. You been doing too much lately.
So there you have it. I mean, Kurt, you've got money going into this. And I'm wondering about the timing here because we first ran that soundbite during Sean Hannity's hour. And it was talking about, the purse and, making sure that we were right about who was actually in this purse. And I'm wondering if you can give us any guidance because it wasn't long after that conversation between Harvey Levin and the word got out from a local affiliate here that it was actually $300 in that Bitcoin purse. Is there a connection? Does the FBI...
$300? Heck no, that ain't got nothing to do with no ransom. Them folks asking for $6 million.
That's something they picked up on that might have led them to this person who is now detained.
Nah.
Hey, Trace, yeah, we can evolve this story again. We're talking about what could just be a warm-up to the wallet on Bitcoin. And that's when you really just put in a small amount from the exchange to find out, okay, is this active? Is it working? Okay, yeah, our deposit's received. It could be a precursor to a larger amount. It could also be as simple as somebody also just screwing with us. And in fact, if Bitcoin is so public and these accounts are so public that it's more or less anybody can access them and establish money into a wallet. So with regard to that, what we're going to look for is a much more sizable amount, but this activity or this warm-up means something, and you keep your eye on this because there is a process to Bitcoin that we have our eye on, that investigators have their eyes on, that you want to be aware of.
Yeah, I mean, that's what everybody is kind of looking at here, Kurt. You're right. I mean, we talked earlier today because I was fascinated by the video, right? The video is what opened the door for all of this. Just to kind of take our viewers through this, we remember yesterday afternoon, we were kind of getting ready to do our show. We were putting our rundown together, and I was wondering, okay, so what do you think? What is the real big news today in the Nancy Guthrie disappearance? And then seconds later, you had Savannah Guthrie come out, and she was asking people for public help.
Right.
She wanted the public's help. It was the first time. She had been talking...
And when she asked for public's help, this is what we get. We get a man at the door. We get a new video. We get TMZ, Harvey speak out. Yeah, this is a crypto story.
Directly to those people who sent the ransom notes earlier, and now she was asking the public's help, and it was kind of baffling, like, why is she looking for the public's help? And then today, the video was released, and the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff started asking for the public's help, and the public helped.
Y'all playing games with them.
And I was asking you, why did it take 10 days, 9 days plus, Kurt, to get this video from whatever cloud it was in to actually to the point where we saw it today viewed? And the answer was fascinating. What was the answer?
This is crazy, y'all. Tomorrow, it's gonna be something else. They putting a movie together.
Well, the question on everybody's mind is about that. So you and I might have a camera that records video and it saves it on a card or up on the cloud, as we've talked about. But in this particular case, we know that this was a Nest video doorbell camera. And oftentimes, in many cases, local information is stored on devices that we own that we don't even know about. We may, for example, have an app tied to our doorbell that we say, tell us when someone's there or when there's motion. Well, that doesn't mean the device itself isn't recording a whole lot more of that. So what investigators have been able to do is follow the trail on this. And the way that looks is, Trace, they're going to first, it's going to be the FBI. The FBI is going to search, get a warrant.
This dude right here is so relaxed.
Google is the one that acquired Nest. So this camera, they think, might have something on it, and they were right. So what happens is these teams get together once they're past that legal hurdle. There's some time we just lost, and now they're working together. And I don't mean they're just trying to download something from it. It's about recreating data. It's about trying to decipher zeros and ones, and it takes a mountain of time and a lot of.
To be honest with you, it looked like, hold on.
Together. So, for example, in this case,
what is this? What is this thing right here, y'all? What is this he keep pressing on right here? What is this? Is he taking pictures? What is this? Is he recording? He's pressing on it. Hold on, let me take it back. See, he putting his hand on. I believe he's talking to somebody. Hold on, let me see. Right here. Yeah, I wonder, is he talking to someone? Are they talking to him? Because he got his hands on it again. Is he recording this? And what are you looking at?
Creating data. It's about trying to decipher zeros and ones, and it takes a mountain of time and a lot of very skillful work to bring that together. So, for example, in this case, there is a possibility, and I've further investigated since you and I talked earlier today. Now, some Nest cameras, when they are disabled, will hold on to about the last hour of video that was on it. Now, so that means that if this suspect was actually successful at disabling that camera, and I don't have the answer to that, but if he was successful at disabling that camera, then he just created some incriminating evidence against this crime, because that means that may have said, okay, this is the last hour of recording, and then when police and other investigators got their hands on that one, including the sheriff, they're able to then activate it.
That's what I just said, man. Why folks tripping? That man have a camera on him. When was this video done? It's too much going on.
Cloud account, because we've heard that the doorbell was not on a cloud subscription, right? So what some Nest cameras will do when you establish it back to the subscription is it will give you that last hour of video that it saw. And whether that's what investigators have on this tonight that we're seeing, or if it's this piece together incredible forensic work, it's one or the other. And it's extraordinary that we have it. And this is going to lead us somewhere.
Wow. I wonder where it can lead to.
I wanted to bring in this work because FBI John Nance was talking about what it was like to work with Google. It's call for number 6. Greg, play this.
Thank God for the Trump administration and Kash Patel's.
Okay, Google. Okay. All right. What you about to say?
Reprioritization and revamping of the FBI's priorities. We're seeing tremendous work being done by the FBI, and this is a case in point. Going to Google and actually reconstructing this video footage is a tremendous.
Okay. They go to Google
tremendous
to
bit of
reconstruct.
forensic work.
Okay. They using Google to reconstruct. Okay. Go Google.
Kurt, if you believe, as many others do, there might be more video that is available that could paint a better picture for us of what happened on the porch that night.
So I don't know if there's more length of video, but what I can tell you is AI now plays an enormous role for investigators. So what we're seeing now may be a low.
I brought that up earlier about AI. Y'all got to pay attention.
A low resolution idea of what they're releasing. What they're able to do with AI over time is enhance this video, and I don't mean add anything to it, but simply make it better and better and better to where that focus on the eyes, that focus on the detail of the fabric, that focus on the brand of backpack becomes crystal clear. And we're starting to be able to see some things that AI is unleashing that we would have never as humans. I don't care how smart we are. I don't care how many of us are working on it. AI can do so much more with regard to making images incredibly crystal clear.
Yeah, I want to play a little flashback, and I'm going to kind of get your take on this because we were told, remember that it was when that camera at 12 minutes after 2 o'clock in the morning on February 1st, it caught a glimpse of something. We were first told it might have been an animal, and it was kind of walked back, but we had the sheriff, Sheriff Nanos, here in Pima County. He was talking about, this is on last Thursday, he was talking about that they actually ran out of technology to recover video. Here's what he said.
2:12 a.m. software detects a person on a camera, but there's no video available. They had no subscription. That's what our analysis teams have told us. The tech company that we sent that camera off to, yes, they've said they've run out of ways to recover anything.
He lying.
Well, the FBI found some ways. I mean, Kurt, the FBI found some good ways to work with Google, and here we are.
When you have the FBI on your side and they have this kind of energy going into the focus of resolving this case, this is what works. And they have incredible tools that can make this come together unlike other things we've seen before, period.
Click here to subscribe.
FBI don't took over y'all. Let me see what else I can find. I'm finding stuff. Soon I hang up, I find stuff. Hold on, y'all. Let's see what else they got over here.
Is your private student loan debt
See what
keeping you
he's
up at
saying.
night? You really.
Harvey must get ready to retire or something.
On the West Coast, 7 p.m. in Pima County, Arizona. We have breaking news tonight. There are multiple big breaks in this case, including bombshell new video from the FBI.
Tricky.
We'll have more on that in a moment with Ken Patel, the FBI director. Also tonight, major law enforcement activity now underway. 2 armored SWAT vehicles departed a Pima County Sheriff's parking lot, along with a local bomb squad. That was just a few hours ago. And moments ago, the bomb squad did return, according to reports from the ground. This activity is somehow related to the search for Nancy Guthrie. Meanwhile, Harvey Levin, who will join us in less than a minute, he is reporting...
Somebody trying to distract the ICE. I think he's supposed to be finished with the ICE thing, y'all. So they draw y'all attention to this, okay? They finished with the ICE, so now they drawing y'all attention. Uncle Trump's solution, like he told y'all.
activity for the very first time on the Bitcoin account linked to the initial ransom demand earlier today. Well, this nightmare finally came to life. They had their first break in the case, a haunting image that will send chills down your spine. The FBI successfully recovered this video from Nancy Guthrie's doorbell camera. It shows a menacing suspect at Nancy Guthrie's front door wearing a ski mask, gloves, backpack, appears to be holstering a gun in the front of his pants. If you take a close look, because the Guthrie family and the FBI are now asking once again.
Now, I told y'all it was something in front of his pants. See, y'all not paying attention. Some people not paying attention to this video. Every time I tell you I see something, then they try to distract y'all. I told y'all it was something in front of his pants right there. And I know what I'm looking at. I'm looking straight at him. I knew something was right there. We trying to hint y'all on stuff. Y'all ain't paying attention. Listen to me. Look, I told y'all what that was right there.
Finally came to life. They had their first break in the case, a haunting image that will send chills down your spine. The FBI successfully recovered this video from Nancy Guthrie's doorbell camera. It shows a menacing suspect at Nancy Guthrie's front door wearing a ski mask, gloves, backpack, appears to be holstering a gun in the front of his pants. If you take a close look, because the Guthrie family and the FBI are now asking once again the public for any and all help in identifying this person that we will be putting up throughout the hour. Savannah Guthrie posted this on Instagram with the caption, quote, "We believe she is still alive. Bring her home." So again, take a very close look. What do you see in these images? Do you recognize the face there? And what about the clothes? If this person looks familiar to you, possibly familiar, please contact the FBI or the Pima County Sheriff's Department. Again, the FBI Director Kash Patel will join us in a moment. First, joining us now on all of tonight's breaking news, TMZ founder, friend of the program, our friend Harvey Levin is with us. He's done great work here. Okay, you've been following from the initial ransom letter that you received at TMZ. You had been following this Bitcoin account. Okay, we got the first hit of activity about, I saw on your website, about 4:30, 4:35 today, correct?
It was just before 4 o'clock LA time, 7 o'clock Eastern time. There was activity for the first time, Sean, in that Bitcoin account, the link of which is in that first ransom letter that we obtained. We've been checking it every few minutes, and for the first time it surfaced.
It seems like whoever this person is that sent you and TMZ that letter have been very careful up to this point. Now, KGUN Channel 9 out in Tucson is also confirming the activity in the account. They say the activity is less than $300. Can you confirm that?
So there are reasons that I have been careful with my words, and it obviously has to do with sourcing, and I am just not at liberty to talk about amounts right now, Sean. I just, this is a complicated case, and
here we go with that complicated case again.
Something, and we're going to stick by that.
I totally respect that, and we don't want to do anything that's going to hurt the investigation or this case in any way. Okay, let's look at this development today. I think it's the biggest break, the only break we've really had since this began 10 days ago. When you look at that footage, what do you see? What are you looking at? And when you put it together with things that only you know because you got the original ransom letter, what do you put together?
Well, it's a little bit confusing to me, and I'll explain why. This letter, Sean, is so well constructed. I read it and think this is a really intelligent person who knows how to express a thought. They have thought this out. They are to the point. They cover everything they need to cover. And then you look at this, and there's something bumbling about it, where the person who is shown right there took enough care to completely cover himself, except for seeing a mustache and either a goatee or a beard.
Right.
And yet he doesn't realize that there's a camera on that door, and that suddenly surprises him enough that he has to go over, stoop down, and grab some brush to try and cover the camera. That doesn't align to me with somebody as methodical as what I believe the person who wrote that note. I will tell you a couple of other things that our sources who are directly involved in this investigation tell us that this was not video that was withheld. The authorities received it today, and they released it almost immediately. We also know that the authorities are working under the operative theory is that whoever did this lives in the Tucson television area. That one of the big reasons authorities believe this is something we've talked about, which is that they sent the ransom letters, both the first and the second, to one or two of the television stations in Tucson, as opposed to sending it, say, to NBC, which is Savannah Guthrie's employer. So they feel there's a connection there. And also in that first ransom letter, it says, we will bring her back to Tucson within 12 hours of receiving payment. That's about a 700-mile radius if you think the car would go 60 miles an hour. But authorities, we're told, and by people involved in this, believe this is somebody in that area around the Tucson television area.
So if the person in that video, and when you put together the video and what we're seeing, the images we're seeing, with the letter that you put eyeballs on, and it doesn't really align with the sophistication of that letter, I've got to imagine it wouldn't align with a theory that it's somebody that knows Nancy Guthrie well, because if they did, they would have known that camera's there, if in fact they really are surprised by the camera, no?
I mean, I think that's a really good point, that if this was somebody...
Wait a minute, let me hear that again. Because it seemed like he's somebody, it seemed like it's someone who hasn't been over there before and don't know there's a camera right there. That's why I asked you about the church people. Do she have any church friends that's real close to her, or people that went to where he from that go to the church? Well, I don't know. Just guessing.
Television area.
So if the person in that video, and when you put together the video and what we're seeing, the images we're seeing, with the letter that you put eyeballs on, and it doesn't really align with the sophistication of that letter, I've got to imagine it wouldn't align with a theory that it's somebody that knows Nancy Guthrie well, because if they did, they would have known that camera's there, if in fact they really are surprised by the camera, no?
I mean, I think that's a really good point, that if this was somebody who cased Nancy's house, I would think one of the...
Let me tell you something. Everybody knows that people have a Ring camera when you walk up on their porch. This dude knew it was a Ring camera on that porch.
First things that
you're looking at it
is, and look for, is some sort of a camera on that door. So, look, I talked to one person involved in this case today, and I...
When that man walked up on that porch, he walked up on that porch, he knew it was a camera. Everybody have everyone have a Ring. Mostly everybody have a, mostly everybody, I'm not saying everybody do. When he walked up there, up there with his head. This man is so comfortable, as if he has been there before to me. But they trying to act like he hasn't been there before. But he knows a Ring camera. Then when he put his head, this is a new generation.
Person involved in this case today, and I raised exactly that point. And the response I get back was, you cannot always use logic and reason in figuring things like this out. And I think that's true. That, in some ways, you're guilty of overacting.
Right. When do a kidnapper wear a backpack? Unless they throw it in the woods. I mean, this don't make no sense right here.
Sometimes when you expect everybody to make the precise, rational move, and that just isn't always the case. So I can't explain that, Sean. It does speak to somebody who didn't know that door before coming there in the first instance. But again, even if you don't know the door, everybody knows it's common to have those cameras.
That's what I just said. It's common to have a Ring camera. That boy this ain't no little bitty child. Bitch, he been around a long time. He young. He about like in his early 40s. Late 30s.
Time to completely cover yourself with the exception of a little bit of a beard and a mustache,
Right.
then wouldn't you think through, gee, there might be a doorbell there too? And at least when you walk up to the door, you have something in your hand.
That's what I asked them, Southpaw. Why go through the front door? That's what I asked the same question you asked. It's so many doors they could have went through. Why the front door? You got a flashlight. This just a front. He forgot to
as opposed to being surprised by it and then walking back to the garden area and grabbing some brush.
Harvey, it's obvious you're working very closely with law enforcement.
Oh, wow. If that's supposed to be a weapon right there, then that means that right there tell you everything. No telling what he did. Why underlive her? Why take her? Why do we know? I don't know.
And have been from day one.
By
the way, I totally admire your help, your cooperation. I'm grateful for it. I think most Americans are as well. And keeping their confidence and not giving out specific details. Last exit question, and you don't really even have to answer it. Are there things that maybe you now know that give you more confidence that we're getting close here to finding this person?
Yeah.
That you may not be able to talk about publicly.
Yeah, I mean, there is activity, much, much, much more activity than there was a couple of days ago. It seemed like authorities were stalled until really today. And a lot
No, I think they have a lot of information they just ain't giving to us. They're going to piece this puzzle like they put the puzzle together.
As you said, we are told the same thing, that these SWAT and bomb squad movements relate specifically to the Nancy Guthrie case. Whether they are close to figuring it out, I think that there are things that law enforcement is doing right now that are not surefire things to find the person, but they have a plan, I think.
Oh boy, we know they got a plan. You know a whole lot. You know a whole lot.
Tired of dealing with agents?
Y'all, if I can I'm trying to find something new now before I get off of here, because I'm always finding something new when I get off of here to show y'all. But I had to come back in here with. Hold on, y'all. When I woke up, I really didn't want to wake up to this.
Now the photo is sort of showing, so that's the first one I mentioned, and this one, the actual photo itself goes longer than this, so this is a close-up of the individual from waist up. The actual photo on Kash Patel's X account shows a full body, and I can't quite tell, but Kaylee, does it look like, are those shoes, are those boots? They appear to be, if you zoom in closely on the bottom, it appears to be tennis shoes, because I see at the very tip there's a little black plastic piece that seems like they would be tennis shoes. You see the black gloves. I mean, this is clearly someone intent on doing something and intent on being concealed and not seen while doing it. You see the backpack straps. And just a hat tip to the FBI right now for.
Well, we're not. This is just my channel. We do reaction, so we are not investigating. We always try to figure out stuff. So, but one thing about YouTube though, if you something you don't like, you can always change that channel, though, can't you? It ain't right, so something you don't want to watch, you can always change that channel.
To recover this photo from that camera, and we know she had a Nest system, is what was reported. I'm unclear at the moment whether that front door camera was a Nest system, I'm told. So this was a Nest camera on the front door, a newly recovered photo, the first significant piece of information, and maybe explanatory, Emily, as to why in that latest video.
Oh, I'm cool. It's just me.
From the kidnapping and the ransom theory. This is a huge piece of new evidence, and we know, as Kennedy noted, that President Trump had said there was a big piece of evidence coming, so you wonder if they had this going back to Friday night and decided now.
What is that in his mouth?
Now is the time to release this. They needed new tips. The ransom deadline had passed.
Yeah, and that's a distinct backpack.
And his eyebrows is cut so nice. He got some nice eyebrows.
And fleece setup. So someone's going to recognize that jacket. That definitely looks like a guy based on body composition, the size of his head. You know, they're shiny gloves. They're either black latex or leather. And yeah, that someone's going to identify that backpack pretty quickly. And
John, I just want to point out, because I want your thoughts on this. Now that we have this specific imagery from Nest, you can see in the upper right-hand corner.
And you know what, South Hall? That's the first time I ever seen a mask like that. Well, you said that he got a. Oh, okay.
Be narrowed down to this. We've talked about cameras that didn't have footage, but could this help to locate this individual as he likely went through Tucson afterward, now that we know the exact moment that these photos were taken?
Great point, Emily. So two things. One is, I wouldn't focus so much on the clothing as whether the facial features are clear enough for there to be facial recognition software run on them, because everybody's face is unique. It depends on the spacing between your eyes and so on. There might be enough there, even though he's wearing that mask, for the computers to go to work to try to figure out who it is. But you're right, Emily. The second thing I would do if I were the FBI's now, give this image and go to Arlo, go to Nest and say, search through all the recorded images you have. Use AI now to the advantage of law enforcement and find if there are other images of other cameras that are storing their footage, storing their archives, and locate where this person went from here to the next spot. I expect that he's probably changed his clothes. He might have a change of clothes in his bag. He's going to immediately try to disguise himself. But the face can't be changed. And maybe in all that trove of data and film,
now all of a sudden they want to stick AI in here.
Might appear, and the government can go to those companies and say, now we have an exigent circumstance. We're trying to track him down. We're trying to track her down. She might still be alive. We don't need a warrant. Give us any footage you have of this person located in anybody's archive.
Yeah. I'm impressed by the level of actually detail. I was expecting one photo of.
Well, I do know what he got right there.
You've got a couple of different angles.
Trying to hide.
And you know,
why do he have a weapon on him going over Miss Nancy's house? Do he know that Miss Nancy's house?
In the Charlie Kirk case, for example, when those images started to surface, you saw gait, you saw body movement, and his parents later said that when they saw the picture, they felt strongly that it was their son. And somebody's going to look at this picture and have the same recognition.
Here, we want to bring in Fox News contributor Josh Ritter on the breaking news. He's a former prosecutor with more than 20 years of experience. He lives outside
He sure do.
He's live outside for us right now, outside of the Pima County Sheriff's Office. I'm looking at this statement right now, Josh. Forgive my distraction, from the FBI director as he released these new photos to the public. He also released a statement. It reads, quote, over the last 8 days, the FBI and Pima County Sheriff's Department have been working closely with our private sector partners to continue to recover any images or video footage from Nancy Guthrie's home that may have been lost, corrupted, or inaccessible due to a variety of factors, including the removal of recording devices. The video was recovered from residual data located in back-end systems.
My thing is, So you're gonna tell me that the family doesn't have the camera to her house to see what's going on with their mother, with their 84-year-old mother in the house by herself? You tell me that y'all not watching her on camera?
As of this morning, law enforcement has uncovered these previously inaccessible new images showing an armed individual appearing to have tampered with the camera at Nancy Guthrie's front door the morning of her disappearance. Anyone with information, please contact 1-800-CALL-FBI or visit the website to offer any leads or tips. So, Josh, your thoughts as you take in these pictures with us together?
It's absolutely remarkable development. Residual data from back-end systems. Just an hours ago, we thought this case had come to an absolute brick wall.